Next thing I'm going to show Elon Musk, and here you can see it quickly detected that Elon Musk face. Welcome to the Python course. We have learned Python basics, we have built 4 projects, and now we will build our last project, that is the facial recognition system. In this project, you will learn a lot of different things. Here are some steps you need to follow. The first thing you are going to need is Visual Studio. For that, just go to Google and type Visual Studio, and you will come to this website. Just download the community version that is free, and after downloading, just start the setup. You will see a lot of different options to install, but all you need is desktop development with C++. And after that, open your VS Code. Then you are going to install and import below libraries, that is face recognition, CMake, OpenCV Python, CSV, datetime, and numpy. Now let's move on to the step 2, that is import library. First of all is import face recognition. This library gives us face detection and recognition capability. The next library is import CV2. OpenCV allows us to do computer vision tasks. The next thing is import numpy as NP. So NP is market standard, so you can name it whatever you want, but I always encourage to use the market standards, that is NP, and you will see another library pandas for that, it's PD. So import numpy as NP. This allows us to do numerical operations. The next thing is import CSV. CSV is comma separated values that is used for reading and writing CSV files. The next thing is import datetime as datetime. This will allow us to get the date and the time. All right, the next thing we are going to do is start the rest of the program. So for that, first of all, is to initialize video capture. For that, video underscore capture is equal to CV2, that is the OpenCV, and it has a method video capture, and we are setting the value 0. Why? The 0 refers to default camera. Usually, it is usually the built-in webcam of your laptop. So we have utilized the first library, that is the OpenCV. The next thing we are going to do is load the known images. For that, I'm going to do data variable hamad underscore image is equal to library face recognition dot load underscore image underscore file, that its method, and inside we are going to fill hamad dot png. So I have both of the images. Here is my image, and the second one I am using is of the Elon Musk. So make sure that both of these images are in the same directory where you are writing this project's code. So I have project 5 file and the Hamad and Elon Musk image in the same directory. The next thing we are going to create are encodings. Encodings are numerical representation of the facial features. So we are going to get the numbers of the facial features. So Hamad underscore encodings is equal to the same library, that is face underscore recognition. And if you press dot, you will get this method face encodings. And inside we are loading the image that we previously imported, and we are setting the value to 0. So this creates a face encoding for Hamad. So it took my image and converted it into numbers. The next thing we are going to do is elon underscore image, the same step that we did for Hamad image, face underscore recognition dot load underscore image underscore file, and inside elon dot png. The next thing is to create the encodings. Elon underscore encodings is equal to face underscore recognition dot face underscore encodings, and inside we have elon image, and again 0 for the default value. So the use of 0 here is that we are setting the Python to give us the first image and probably the only image of the video stream. The next thing we are going to do is create a list to store noun face encodings and their names. So noun underscore encode face encodings is equal to Hamad underscore encodings and Elon encodings. The next thing is noun face underscore names is equal to Hamad underscore image and Elon underscore image. So these values are just the lines of code that we have wrote above. We are storing them inside these two lists. The next thing, we are going to create a copy of noun names. We will remove them from this list as we work through and mark them present. So students is equal to noun underscore face underscore names dot copy. So we are using one of the list that we created above, face underscore encodings list and face underscore names list. From those two lists, we are using one, that is the face underscore names, and we are just making a copy of it. And we will be using it to mark the attendance on our sheet. The next thing is, hope you understand the concept. Now we move on to the next concept, that is initialize empty list for storing face locations and encodings in each frame. For that, we are just taking two empty strings, face underscore locations, and another is face underscore encodings, that is also an empty list. The, the next thing we are going to do is get the current date to store in the CSV file. So for that, we are going to create current underscore date equal to datetime dot now. This is the same library that we imported at the top, and then dot strf time, and inside we are going to fill percentage year dash percentage month percentage day. So this will give us, or we will be able to extract the current date. The next thing is open a CSV file to write the attendance. So for that, we are going to use f is equal to open, and inside we are using a f string. So the method to write f string is f inverted commas, and inside the current date that we just extracted from the one line code above, and then dot csv. The next argument is a plus. The a plus allows to append the file or create a new one. And the third thing is new line is equal to empty string. So a hope you understand that we are creating this to open a CS file to write the attendance, and here a plus allows us to append the file or create new one. The next thing is ln writer is equal to csv dot writer app. So this ln writer or line writer, we are writing the attendance. All right, now let's move to the main part of the program. That is this main processing loop here, while true, and inside first thing we are writing is underscore, and the second argument is frame is equal to video underscore capture dot read. And here what's going on here is that we are capturing a single frame from the string. So when the camera will record the video, it will uh, capture a frame from that stream. The next thing is small underscore frame. We are doing this for resizing. In order to do that, taking it equal to cv2.resize, first argument is frame, the second argument is 00, and then we are setting up the size file, that is 0.25 for the x, and fy is equal to 0.25, that is the one-fourth value. So resizing frame to the one-fourth value for faster face recognition. The next thing we are going to do is converting from image BGR color, which our OpenCV library uses, to RGB color, which face recognition library uses. For doing that, we are going to do is RGB underscore small underscore frame is equal to cv2 dot cvt color. First argument is small frame, that is the frame that we have captured, and we converted its value to lower size, and the second argument is obviously cv2 dot color bgr to RGB. So we are going from one type of color to the other one using this RGB underscore small frame. The next thing we are going to do is finding all face locations and encodings in the current frame. For doing that, we are going to create face locations variable and setting it equal to face underscore recognition dot face underscore locations. And here we are going to give RGB underscore small underscore frame. That is the second line of this while true loop. The second thing is face encodings. In order to do that, we are going to use face recognition dot face encodings. And here RGB underscore small underscore frame. The second thing is face locations. So we are finding all the face locations and encodings in the current time using these two lines. Now Move on to the next thing, that is we are going to make use of the for loop. For that, what we are doing is that loop through each phase found in the frame. So in this for loop, we have for the variable phase underscore encoding in phase encoding. So we created a new variable that will get the phase different phase encodings and store it in the phase encoding. And then we are going to compare the faces with our known faces. For that, we're going to create a variable matches is equal to face underscore recognition dot compare faces. And here noun underscore face encodings with the face encoding. So we created a line for comparing the faces. The next thing we are going to do is calculate how closely face matches our noun faces. For that, we are going to create a variable face distances, and setting is equal to face underscore recognition dot. I mistakenly wrote here days distance, that I will correct just after completing this loop. And inside parentheses, I have noun underscore facing encodings and face encodings. So we created the matches variable for comparing the faces. Secondly, we created face distances. And the third thing we are going to include is that find the known face with the closest match. So best underscore match underscore index is equal to np dot argmin there, and inside we are going to place face distances, that is the line above. So NP is the numpy library that we imported, and arg minimum is that the minimum distance. So we have the numerical values that we are comparing, so that we have the minimum difference between those numerical values. In this way, we'll find the closest match. The next thing is we are going to set up a condition that if the above loop worked fine, then you are going to enter in this condition that if we found a match, then set up a condition that if matches and inside best underscore match underscore index, then you are going to set name is equal to noun underscore face names and inside best underscore match underscore index. Then we are going to set up some parameters for OpenCV. So this will, what we will do when it recognizes the face, it is going to print a text on the screen. So that first of all, we are going to set up a font. Font is equal to CV2, that is the OpenCV library, dot font underscore Hershey underscore simplex. So we are using Hershey simplex font. The next thing is bottom left corner of the text is equal to 10 100. So this is the value for the position. The next thing is scale. We are setting font scale to 1. Then we're setting font color to 250 watt 00. That will RGB. That will give us the black color. The, uh, the next thing is thickness, that we are setting to 3. The line type is equal to 2. You can modify these values and see what comes into your program, the result of your program. And now we are going to add the text to the image to show what is present. So for that, cv2.putText and include these values: frame, name, and plus a string that will set present. And the next thing is bottom left corner of the text, font scale, thickness, and the line type that we have just created in this condition statement. The next thing is, what if the person hasn't been marked present yet? So we compared and found the match. We set up a condition that you need to print present. And the next thing is we are going to fill the attendance sheet. For that, if name is students, and then students dot remove name, removing the name from absent students list. The next thing is now is equal to datetime dot now. And the next thing is obviously the current date that we are going to get using now dot strf time and hour, month, hour, percentage minute, and percentage second. The next thing we are going to write the attendance time, and then writer dot write row, and inside we are going to give two arguments: the name of the person that we recognized, and the second thing is the current time, writing name and time to CSV. The next thing we are going to do is display resulting image with annotations. So CV2 dot I am show attendance and then the frame that we wrote in the while true loop. The next thing is checking if Q is pressed exit loop. So if attendance is done and we want to quit the program, We're going to do this while the stream is being displayed on the screen. We will simply press Q and it will quit. So if cv2 dot wait, and we're going to pass 1 and 0xff, that is the hexadecimal check, is equal to that in ord and inside q. So what is happening here is that waste key is waiting and gives a 32-bit number. We only need 8-bit from that. In order to get that, we will use the hexadecimal 0ff to check 8 digits from the wait key. And the next thing is break. The break will only execute when the 32 numbers that we will get from the wait key will be used with the help of 0ffx, that are the 8 digits number from those 32 digits, and we will compare them with the queue that will uh, be pressed by the person. So if the condition is fulfilled, the break will be executed. And the final steps are cleaning up the things by releasing webcam and closing all open CV windows. So video capture total is we are releasing the video capture, and then CV2 destroy all windows. We are stopping all the processing by the OpenCV library. And you can see it quickly detected my face and said Hamad is present. Next thing I'm going to show Elon Musk, and here you can see it quickly detected that Elon Musk face.
Alright, so that was this project of building a data system. But I made some mistake that you will also encounter. Right, so the first error I got was here. I was passing face encodings in the plural, but it should be face encoding only. Earlier it was like this, face encoding, but it should be face encoding. The next issue was while importing the datetime. I wrote earlier import datetime as datetime, but it should be from datetime import datetime. So it should be like this, from datetime import data. The next error I cv2 destroy all windows, and here should be these parentheses. This it should be like this, but earlier I mistakenly left it like this, so it should be like this. The next error I got was noun faces and underscore names. I included the images instead of the string of the names. So what I did wrong was I included here underscore images earlier, but it should be like this, simply string, Hamad string and Elon string. The next problem I encountered was it should be face distance instead of days distance. So here, while calculating how closely face matches our known faces, I mistakenly wrote here days distance like this, but it should be face distance. So yeah, make sure to fix these errors and you will be able to run this program successfully. And yeah, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and you can learn from me. The details are in the description.